2024 was a very interesting year for Rainbow Six Siege. We had many ups in the sense of all the new operators added and all the new content that came to the game and improvements to the overall game as a whole across the board, and many downs like the Rainbow Six Siege membership. So today, I'll go through 2024 as a whole and tell you, was it good or was it bad for Rainbow Six Siege? Now if you do enjoy, please like and subscribe. It's the best way to let me know that you enjoyed these videos. And also go follow me on TikTok and on Twitch because I'm going to be a lot more active this year. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now to start off, we went into Year 9 Season 1 with a bang, with Deadly Omen. What it brought was a bunch of reworks to LMGs to try and make them more effective and Deimos. But at first, people were very iffy on Year 9 Season 1 due to the main fact that this was the season where they removed all of the optics. Like all the 1.5, all the 2x, like 3x, oh no, 3x is still in the game actually, but all like the overpowered, insane optics, they got removed this season. Which, for overall, in the balance department of the game, is amazing. However, does good balance always mean it's fun? Not necessarily, because who doesn't love running about the map as, you know, Legion T5 1.5, or Alibi 1.5, or Doc 1.5 even. Any at 1.5, it just felt fun to use. So, what we got instead was a lot of optics being lost and gave to other operators. Everyone lost access to the 1.5 on defense. Certain operators, like Frost, Chanka, Maestro, Zame, Alibi, Tuberal, Vigil, Aruni, all got their ACOG back. On top of this as well, they also changed the default reticles with the Hollow A, C, Red Dot C, Magnified A, Hollow B, and Magnified C, all getting their, center dot increased, which personally I didn't like, and I still don't like to this day. I don't realize it until I go back and watch like old gameplay. I miss it so much. And we also got a rework to laser, getting a 10% increase to your ADS speed, angle grip, now improving your reload speed, and your horizontal grip now giving you 5% movement speed, which effectively bumps you up movement speed. But with these mixed bag of changes, we also got another horrific change. Well, at first it was horrific, the Ballistic Shield rework. This made Monty the best operator in the game. Without failure, he's able to just do whatever he wants. He had full reign of the space. But like I said earlier, they also changed the LMGs as well. Now, whenever you ran them, you were a speed slower, but to compensate for it, you had less recoil on LMGs across the board, which was nice. Their main goal with LMGs for the game at the moment is to make them that suppressive fire. And I mean, I suppose that's what you get, because who doesn't love fighting against a Capitão who is horrible at the game, doesn't know how to shoot straight, but you can definitely put down some bullets. Whether that be into teammates is a whole different question, but Harkeys aside. But the best change to come out this season was Azami. Now her barriers can finally be shot by bullets, and that is why LMGs had ever got like a space in this meta. Thankfully though, everyone overall I can say did enjoy this season due to the fact that Deimos was just really fun to play, and he still is to this day. On top of it as well, people just don't realise how insane Deimos is. Now we move on to the worst season ever, and I think it might have killed the game if Year 9 Season 3 wasn't so good. Year 9 Season 2, Operation New Blood. Apart from the new operators that got added, Sentry and Striker, who are pretty fun to play, don't get me wrong, we had 1, 2, 3 changes. Oh no, 4 changes. Fenrir's rework, where now you can shoot his mines when they aren't activated, but you only have 4, and you can only have 2 at a time instead of 5 and 3. And the first part of the Solis rework, which overall, the intention was that she was going to be, still useful and still be able to play. However, they failed with this rework. I have not seen a Solos in my lobby since Year 9 Season 1, because Solos is horrible. There's no point to play her. And finally, my favourite change from Year 9 Season 2, that really just summed up this season as a whole, was the AK-74 on Deimos finally getting grips. That was the highlight at the time. That was my favourite change. Do you seriously realise how bad of a season that was? I would have rather we had Operation Hell, where at least I know there's no content, but we're going to fix the fucking game. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Then, for some reason, Barbed Wire just wasn't good enough. So now it does 5 damage every 1 second. That's nice. So we're now at a point where we've been nerfing operators by taking away deployable shields and giving them barbed wire in order to quote unquote nerf them, when ultimately, in this meta, in the TDM meta, barbed wire is better than shields because you can get more kills off it, and why run a deployable when you could just run the Zami? Past that, there literally isn't anything to say about Year 9 Season 2. Well, I lied. There's not anything to say about it that's positive. They added the membership. So not only are we getting no changes in this season, we're getting a membership. And I remember at the time being a bit let down. I made a whole video talking about it and whatnot. But I was one of the hopeful ones. I was like, hopefully mid-season, they add more. they add more, and you know, it gets better over time. The mid-season wasn't that bad at the end of the day. They further increased the nerfs onto Azami's barriers. They took away the Gong 6 from Buck, which I think's dumb, but it's balanced. Echo went to free armor again, because every year, as we all know, he puts on a couple pounds and loses a couple pounds. And they gave him back the ACOG, which is, everyone loves that. They gave Ella impacts, she still isn't useful, and they did increase the damage that Gridlock's track stingers do from 10 to 15 damage per second, which is good for Gridlock. But the best and most disgusting change I've ever seen in the history of this game was Melusi removing her 1.5, which was good, thank God, because she is very powerful. But just to make sure that she still kept that power level and became more dominant, actually, is to go from 3 Banshees to 4 Banshees and give her the Aita shotgun for secondary weapons. That was insane. You can now set up the site as Melusi, reinforce the site as Melusi, set down traps as Melusi, frag out with MP5 as Melusi. The only thing you can't do is get on a treadmill. It's insane. But what is bad about this season? They did take away the 1.5 or the magnified scopes from Wamai on his MP5K. Ultimately, I do feel like Wamai and Jaeger do need their ACOGs, but Wamai needs it on his AUG, because if you're going to run Wamai, you shouldn't be in this meta, but if you are going to run him, you should be running the MP5. So why not make it a choice of optic or fire rate? That's how we should be balancing, in my opinion. So mid-season wasn't bad, but let's just say, when I saw the patch notes for Year 9 Season 2, originally when it first came out, it was looking bleak. I was white. I was looking like I just made the worst decision of my life, bro. Why did I start making videos on this game as soon as it died? But thankfully, Ubisoft saved the day. Next season, Year 9 Season 3. This was a season I just quit. I just didn't play the game. I didn't play the game because I was burnt out from, you know, trying to make a video every week on on New Blood, bro. It's like searching for pools of water in the Sahara Desert. There's fuck all, baby. We got the first nerf to Dokkaebi. Personally, I think she needs another nerf because she is insanely broken. But Logic Bomb, 0 initial, 45 seconds, you get 1, max 2. Very nice. Nock still needs more buffs, in my opinion. She still needs a silent step back to her kit. But these are good changes to her kit at the moment. The ability does not deplete upon activation, only consumes when you're glitching, which is nice. Max resources of 10 seconds, time to refill 120. I think that's a bit crazy. I think it should be 60 seconds. And minimum resources to activate is 20%. That's fine. So let's got the second part of our nerfs. I'm not going to run through it because I've made a whole video on it, but at the time I thought it could be good because you can flip it back and on and whatnot, and you can just use the shotgun to, you know, get around the fact that you don't have the impacts. But I think the whole playstyle of these Solis is dead until they add back the ability for her to have frag grenades, or impact grenades, sorry, and they need to do like 50 damage a pop. They need to do 50 or 60, sorry, because 40 damage impact grenades are... I'm tickling, bro. I'm tickling them. It's not fun. Claymores getting the delay removed as well. I haven't felt any change from that. But the proximity alarms not giving the points anymore is very nice. I do think that was a well-needed change because it was very fun to just set a C4 trap with the recruit on the defender side. Put your C4 below and use your proximity alarm. Whenever you get the +5, you blow them up from across the map. But it's no skill, and I don't like no skill. The recoil got changed on the FMG. The R4C lost 5 bullets. And it was a good start to a new season. Scopos as well is very fun to play and a very powerful defender. But then we get to the mid-season, and this is going to be one of the best mid-seasons we've ever had in a while. Ayana, cooldown from 30 to 20 when her decoy is destroyed, always nice. Jackal, whenever you're getting shot, you no longer get the vision distortion, was very needed because Jackal is the worst roam clear in the game right now. Kali getting smokes is very... I think it's ultimately negative for her because Kali's main strong suit is holding angles, and smoking yourself off or smoking off angles isn't best for Kali. Mozzie getting 4 pests from 3, you can't complain, and getting impacts as well. I like to have versatility in operators, but versatile doesn't always mean it's good, and that is exactly what we can say about Zero. Zero, one of the most versatile operators in the game, went from 4 cams to 6 cams, but does that mean he's good? Hell no, he's still pretty underpowered. Next, Zofia. Zofia removed the breach charges from her and gave her the hard breaches. That was a very good change in my opinion, because Zofia was always in the shadow of Ashe, but giving her hard breaches just meant she could fill the support role more. And Kali Sniper got the bullet trail, so whenever you shoot and there's a white line behind it, reduced from 2 seconds to 1. and the size reduced by 75%. I'll be honest, I didn't even know they changed it, bruh. But ultimately, Skullpole season was a good season. I just didn't play it because New Blood made me want to uninstall the game and never look back. But next up, we then had Year 9, Season 4, where they finally nerfed the shields. The entirety of 2024 was dominated by shields, ballistic shields. You get put on your arse, they were pulling your legs apart, and they were sticking their penis straight in your asshole. But thankfully, they got round to nerfing them. Blackbeard, however, was an interesting addition, shall we say. Can now repel with the shield out in front of him. Now has a shield. Apparently that shield has an ability, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've ever used it in my life. I just used the shield with the gun because it's the most insane fragging potential in the game right now. He has a free armor, so it does make him slower, but who cares if you're slower as long as you just are invincible. And then they also buffed his primary assault rifle to 44 damage from 40, to 25 magazine from 20, and to 226 reserve from 181. Now when they released Blackbeard, they realised, oh wait, we have other shield operators in the game, and they aren't that powerful at the moment now that we've nerfed them. So they made Lerock, when extended, Montaigne, reduced the guard break strength from 40% to 20%, which was nice. However, Monte is just a shell of his former self. But the best change of the year in my opinion has got to be Sense. They made him from a horrible bottom of the barrel operator to actually an operator I could see a lot of potential in. If you didn't know, he now has the ability to toggle his walls on and off, and the cooldown, or the time in which his walls are up for, only goes down when the walls are up. On top of this as well, thermals like Warden and Glass can no longer see through his walls, and you have 4, so why not just throw them all down, deactivate, and then reactivate them all, and then just rush the point? Because that is an insane strat, because of the fact that no one can see through it, and you just don't expect it as a defender. Next, Thunderbird got an amazing change to where now, on top of the initial health that you get from the Kono station, you then get 2 HP per second after that until you reach 100 HP, or you take damage, in which will cancel it. And then they also gave her the Aita shotgun, because who doesn't want another shotgun? Next, they got around to nerfing Yang, because I felt as if now that we've got the shields getting nerfed, we need to nerf Yang, because Yang was secretly like overpowered, but nobody knew because the shields were just that good. So what they done was they made it impossible for you to be able to pop flash somebody. You have to go through 2 seconds minimum to where then they can explode, which is nice. But the worst change of this season is definitely going to be removing the mid flashes you get from 3 to 2. This was so that they were able to use their flashes in a more decisive manner and choose when to throw them, and you know, not to just spam them. But like I said earlier, the ballistic shield changes did come across, where from meleeing doing 65 damage to now 0 finally. Suppressive fire went for easier to activate, so to get the full maximum intensity it was now 20 bullets instead of 40. Yes, you heard that right, you were expected to shoot a mag and a half to just get them to stop sprinting at you. I don't know what world that was ever a good idea. And then of course the minimum from 10 to 5. Good changes all around. Guard break as well, the more you melee them, the more your shield gets away from you. And then for some reason they buff shotguns, because why not? But I ain't complaining because of the fact that I'm a shotgun warrior myself. I am horrible at the game. But at the moment, that is all the changes we have for the whole of 2024. And I will say this, end of the day, we had many ups and many downs, like many bad downs throughout the entire year. But was it really that bad though? Like, I know this is like it's the friends along the way we made our like response to it, but ultimately, I don't feel that 2024 was that bad. There was definitely some negatives about, you know, ballistic shields being overpowered and taking a full year basically to get them nerfed, and Blackbeards being pretty overpowered at the current moment in time. But you could all play the game, like you could cope with it. It wasn't like, you know, we've seen worse. Like, Solus was definitely worse for the game. Like, you could not drone as an attacker. That was bad. But ultimately, I feel as if the game is continually to evolve. And the game's got a bright future. The game does have a bright future, regardless how you look at it. Year 9 Season 4 adding crossplay, which I forgot to talk about, is just the best addition we've ever had in the history of Rainbow Six Siege. And I'll stand by that. So, was 2024 a good year for Siege? Absolutely. 100%. Now, if you did enjoy this video, please do like and subscribe. Go follow my Twitch and Twitter and my TikTok, all in the description of this video. I know this is me just rambling about, but I want to do some rambling. I'm fed up making, I'm fed up of making tips. I do appreciate the support they get, but my god, sitting and doing tips week in, week out, it does fry your brain a little. Thank you guys for all the support you gave me throughout 2024, starting off the year with like, what, 36 subscribers and ending it in 800 is actually mind-blowing. I'm speechless, you know? And just to think that Rainbow Six Siege is still about in its 9th year, like we're coming into year 10, that is insanely crazy. That is insane. I didn't think that back when I first saw my first ever gameplay on Rainbow Six Siege in year 4, season 2, and it was Varsity Gaming and the Russian Badger and Tuxbird, did I ever think that one day I would be making videos on Rainbow Six Siege and the game would still be fucking alive? And you gotta remember as well, this game is always gonna grow. It's always gonna improve. Ultimately, they're gonna make bad decisions along the way, but they're gonna improve on it. If it's been here for almost a decade, who's to say it can't go for another decade? But I'll tell you who actually, probably Ubisoft themselves, because I mean, Jesus Christ, the shares aren't looking good. I mean, we're having to liquidate XDefiant, bro. We gave up now way too quick. It's not looking good. But Rainbow Six Siege is looking good. So anyway, enough rambling from me. And I'll see you guys throughout 2025, hopefully. I love you all, and goodbye.